In Episode 5 of Project Runway Season 22, the competition took a bold turn with one of the most unconventional challenges viewers have seen in years. Titled Viva la Fashion. The episode pushed every designer far beyond traditional sewing skills by forcing them to transform ordinary white paper towels into luxurious runway fashion. At first glance, the assignment sounded almost impossible. Paper towels tear easily, wrinkle under pressure, and certainly don't behave like silk, cotton, or denim. Yet that was exactly the point. This challenge wasn't about who could buy the best fabric or rely on expensive materials. It was about imagination, engineering, and proving that true fashion designers can create beauty from virtually anything. The judges immediately made it clear that excuses wouldn't be accepted. Every contestant received the same humble material, meaning creativity would become the deciding factor. As the designers began experimenting with dye techniques, layering, folding, twisting, and chemical treatments, the workroom transformed into something closer to an art laboratory than a fashion studio. Every station looked different, with contestants desperately searching for ways to strengthen delicate paper while still maintaining movement and elegance. Very quickly, viewers could see that some designers embraced the challenge while others struggled to escape their comfort zones. A few competitors focused on making the paper resemble traditional textiles, while others leaned into the material's natural texture, hoping originality would outweigh practicality. The pressure only intensified because this was a luxurious 2-day challenge, giving everyone enough time to create ambitious garments, but also enough time for ambitious ideas to completely collapse. Among all the competitors, Nahim delivered what many viewers considered the breakthrough moment of the episode. His design looked astonishingly like authentic denim from a distance. Even experienced fashion eyes could easily mistake the garment for premium blue jean fabric. The illusion was so convincing because Nahim carefully layered, dyed, and manipulated countless pieces of paper towel until they formed believable texture, weight, and structure. What made his achievement even more impressive was that he didn't simply imitate denim through color alone. He captured its personality. The garment carried realistic visual depth, subtle fading, and convincing construction details that elevated the look beyond a clever costume trick. It demonstrated complete control over the challenge rather than merely surviving it. The judges clearly appreciated the technical intelligence behind the design. Transforming such a fragile material into something that visually resembled one of fashion's most durable fabrics represented exactly the type of innovation Project Runway celebrates. Nahim proved that outstanding fashion often begins with bold problem-solving instead of expensive resources. Another designer who captured significant attention was Bai, whose runway presentation showcased exceptional refinement. Rather than relying on shock value, Bai focused on balance, proportion, and sophistication. Every design decision appeared intentional, resulting in a garment that felt polished despite being created from one of the least glamorous materials imaginable. The judges praised Bai for understanding how to let craftsmanship speak louder than gimmicks. Instead of constantly reminding viewers that the garment came from paper towels, the final presentation allowed everyone to appreciate it simply as beautiful fashion. That subtle confidence separated Bai from several competitors who became overly focused on proving how difficult the challenge had been. Of course, no Project Runway episode would be complete without intense critiques, and this runway certainly delivered uncomfortable moments. While several designers received encouragement, others discovered that technical mistakes become impossible to hide when working with unconventional materials. One contestant who found himself under the microscope was Brian. His garment featured heavily constructed pleats intended to create dramatic visual movement. Unfortunately, the execution failed to convince the judging panel. Judge Law Roach delivered one of the episode's most memorable critiques by calling attention to Brian's tortured pleats. The description immediately captured the central issue. Instead of flowing naturally, the pleats appeared overworked, forced, and overly manipulated. Rather than enhancing the silhouette, they distracted from it. Law's criticism highlighted an important lesson that extends beyond this single challenge. Fashion isn't simply about demonstrating how much work went into a garment. Sometimes restraint produces stronger design than excessive manipulation. Brian clearly invested enormous effort into constructing his piece, but the final result suggested complexity without harmony. Moments like these remind audiences why Project Runway continues to resonate after so many seasons. The competition isn't judged solely on ambition. Designers must successfully translate ambitious concepts into wearable fashion. Great ideas alone are never enough. This episode also reinforced another recurring theme throughout Season 22, adaptability. The contestants who thrived weren't necessarily those with the strongest technical backgrounds entering the competition. Instead, success belonged to designers willing to abandon familiar methods and invent entirely new techniques under pressure. Working with paper towels eliminated many traditional shortcuts. Every seam required reconsideration. Every fold carried risk. Every movement threatened to damage hours of work. Those limitations forced genuine innovation, revealing which competitors possess the flexibility required to succeed in today's evolving fashion industry. As the runway concluded, the overall message became unmistakable. Fashion isn't defined by luxury materials, but by creative vision. A designer capable of transforming disposable paper towels into garments worthy of admiration demonstrates the very essence of artistic talent. Episode May 5th ultimately be remembered as one of Season 22's defining challenges because it exposed every designer's strengths and weaknesses with remarkable clarity. Nahim emerged as the technical standout through his astonishing faux denim masterpiece, by reinforced the value of elegance and precision. Meanwhile, Brian's difficult critique from Law Roach served as a reminder that innovation must always remain balanced with thoughtful execution. With the competition growing increasingly fierce, Viva La Fashion proved that every future challenge will demand not only creativity but resilience, adaptability, and the confidence to reinvent the impossible. If this episode is any indication, Season 22 is only beginning to reveal which designers possess the imagination needed to become the next great Project Runway champion.